Hello, friends. I hope you're having an excellent morning, afternoon, night, evening, whatever it is you're having when you're watching this. Tonight, I want to talk about the Braxton sisters. I want to talk about Tracy Braxton. Um, let's get right into it. Y'all, this is not going to be an easy topic for me to talk about because in a way I feel just so triggered. I feel so sad. I feel so grieved. And let me tell you why. So, first, I want to just tell you a little bit about just where I'm coming from personally. So, y'all, I'm 30 years old. I am a Braxton family fan slash stan. I'm 30 years old. I grew up on Toni Braxton. I love Toni Braxton. Growing up, Toni Braxton and Mariah Carey were literally my favorite singers in the world. I am a Toni Braxton and Tamar Braxton fan. Stan. I'm not the type of stan that's like, oh my, I love Toni Braxton. I love that song. Just be a man about it. No, I am a Toni Braxton stan. My favorite Toni Braxton album is The Heat. I love Libra. My favorite song of Toni Braxton is The Heat. I literally listen to Tamar and Toni Braxton's Christmas albums all year round. I can show you my wedding playlist right now. let me I just want to show I just want y'all to know where I'm coming from. Let me pull my phone is always dying. It's on 5%, but let me I just want before I really get into it, because I am going to drag these sisters for filth. But before I do, I want to tell y'all exactly where I'm coming from. And thank you, everyone that's in the comments. I'm going to acknowledge your comments at the end of the live. I don't know why my phone isn't coming up, but I just want to show y'all, like, all right, so here's my wedding playlist. Here's my wedding playlist. Number one, I don't know if y'all can see that. Can you see it? Oh God. Anyway, number one is Snowflakes of Love by Toni Braxton. Number three is Christmas Time by Toni Braxton. Like, do I have Tamar? This is this is probably number like six. I got Away in the Manger and Little Drummer Boy, Tamar Braxton. Then I got Santa Baby, Tamar Braxton's version. This is how much I love these sisters. First of all, I've always been a fan of Toni Braxton. When the Braxton Family Values came out, I went crazy. I was like, oh my, I get to see Toni. I get to learn more about Toni. And then I learned that she had all these amazing sisters, and I literally fell in love with every sister except for Tawanda. I didn't care too much for Tawanda, but I still mess with Tawanda because she was okay, and I like her children. And I thought her ex-husband was okay. I'm not gonna lie though, Tawanda was definitely like my least favorite sister, but I loved all the sisters. So that's a little bit of backstory about how I love these sisters. I tend to ramble. Stay with me. When I found out about the death of Tracy Braxton, I was in shock. I was in shock like it was a family member. I was in shock. I'm like, immediately I just felt shock. And then after the shock, I felt sad. I felt sad. I felt grieved. And it wasn't the normal type of sadness or grief that you feel when someone dies. This was the type of grief that you're like, this isn't right. It was the type of feeling that this isn't right. And the reason why it didn't feel right is because of how the sisters treated Tracy. It's sad when anybody dies. It's sad. If we had found out about any of these sisters passing away, it's sad. It would have been sad. It would have hit, especially if you're a fan of these sisters. But finding out about Tracy, it hit different because of how she was treated by her family. And I'm not gonna lie, when I learned about her death, I couldn't really feel sorry for the sisters. And I'm just being honest. The truth is, when I found out about her death, I didn't feel sorry for her sisters. I felt angry at her sisters. I felt angry because all I could think about was the fact that they always treated Tracy bad. They always treated her like she was the joke. They literally, Tracy would say she feels like the black sheep of the family. Literally, she would tell her sisters that y'all treat me like I'm the stepsister, like I'm a stepchild. And they treated her like that. So this just I'm gonna try not to cry, but I'm gonna try not to get emotional. I'm gonna try to keep it together because I wanna communicate everything that I wrote my bullet points, and y'all know I like to ramble, but I'm just telling you how I feel. I felt angry, and I remember when I was looking for other content to talk about Tracy's death, I literally searched for content about, like, I was wondering, was anyone gonna tell the truth? Was anyone gonna tell the truth about how these sisters treated her? Let me get to my notes. So I talked about how I felt when I learned that Tracy died of esophagus cancer, or cancer of the esophagus. I didn't even know I don't know what esophagus means, but right away I knew it had something to do with the throat. And when I learned of that, I really felt like her sisters won. I felt like her family won. And I'm gonna be honest, I really felt like her sister, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but I'm just gonna say it. When I learned that Tracy Braxton died of esophagus cancer, I felt like her death and her illness, her sickness, the esophagus cancer, I felt like it came from her relationship with her family. I felt like it came from the relationship dynamic that she has with her family. Y'all, I'm gonna get into it, but for all of you out there that resonate with Tracy, for all of you guys that are the black sheep of the family, for all of you that are the black sheep of the family, for all of you that are the scapegoats of your family, get out. It's not worth it. It's not worth your health. It's not worth your life. It's not worth your purpose. It's not worth your happiness. Get out. These sisters killed her. Tracy literally did not have a voice on this earth. Her sisters took her voice. Her sisters tried to dim her light. Her sisters tried to make her the joke. On the last season of the Braxton Family Values, one of her sisters told her, "You are dead to me." Her sisters are the cause of her illness. And I'm on here speaking, I'm on here giving commentary. I'm not anybody's therapist on this channel. I'm not any of these Braxton family therapists. I'm not any of that, but I'm telling you what I see. I'm a therapist outside of this platform. One thing that I've learned with working with people, there is a mind-body connection. When you experience stress and trauma, when you experience overwhelming trauma, you don't experience these things and it goes nowhere. When you experience trauma, it gets trapped in your brain, it gets trapped in your body, and it shows up as illness. It shows up as depression. It shows up as anxiety. It shows up as chronic pain. Before doing this video, I looked up, I said, what is the esophagus? I knew it had something to do with the throat. I looked up what the esophagus was before getting on this live, and I think Google said it's a tube that connects your throat to your stomach. I'm gonna try to keep it together, but I feel like Tracy is getting her justice right now, because so many people that like this family, they feel a way about Tracy's death, and it's because a lot of us can resonate with Tracy. Personally, I can't resonate with Tracy on that level because I don't feel like my family treats me how Tracy's family treated her. I can't resonate with her on that level. But watching it and thinking back on it, it hurts. Okay, let's talk about toxic families. This family is toxic. Whew, this family is toxic. This family is toxic. I don't know how, I don't even know however, I don't even know how else I can say it. I don't even think I need to explain it. This family is toxic. This family made Tracy the joke. They made fun of her every chance they got. They humiliated her. They made her an outsider. They talked down on her. They went out of their way to make her feel like she wasn't included. Tracy was literally, the Braxton sisters were the popular mean girls in their family. I gotta calm myself down because I'm hot. I'm hot because finding out about Tracy's death, it felt like the sisters won. Okay, I talked about how she's the scapegoat of the family. Let's talk about what's going on right now. I'm so sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna really try to hold it together. Let's talk about what's going on right now. I told y'all I was a Braxton family fan. I'm so sorry, y'all. I shouldn't even be having these type of feelings. This okay. Let's talk about what's going on right now. The fact that these sisters won't even let their sister have peace in death is sad. The fact that you know what? I've been a fan, but you know what? I've lost respect for Tony and Tamar and Trina. I never really thought too much of the mother and Tawanda anyway, but I have lost respect for these sisters because not only did y'all take away, not only did they take away Tracy's peace in life, but they're taking away, they're attempting to take away her peace in death. Y'all couldn't just let her rest. Y'all couldn't just let her rest. Y'all couldn't just allow the woman to rest. You couldn't even let her be the star in this moment. She is a star, though. I'm not going to say you couldn't even. I'm going to say they attempted to take away her stardom. They attempted to take away the light. They attempted to take away the peace and the light that she shared with so many people during her 50 years. They're attempting to take away the light. And that's where the toxicity comes from. The toxicity also comes from thinking that you're always right. They're not right. Y'all not right. It's ugly. Next, let's explain what's happening. Let's explain what's happening. So, and I'm nobody's therapist, but guess what? I know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm looking at. So here's how it works. These sisters have treated Tracy like the scum of the freaking earth for as long as they've been sisters. They have treated Tracy like the scum of the freaking earth. There are multiple phases in the grieving process. And you can feel any of these at any time. It's not like linear. You can feel these at any time. So there's the denial. Sometimes a part of the grieving process, there's denial, there's anger, there's depression. What's that other one? There's acceptance, and there's a word, I can't think of it. Bargaining. So these are the different processes of grief. Bargaining, denial, depression, anger, acceptance. And you can feel any of these at any time. They don't go in a row. What we're looking at right now is anger. Oftentimes when people die, people are angry. When people die and they're experiencing that grief and that loss, they're angry. These sisters are angry. They might be angry with Tracy for leaving them. Like that's real. That's how we feel sometimes. But what I'm seeing, these sisters are angry at themselves. They're angry at themselves because deep down, they're in denial about it, but deep down, they know that they treated their sister like the scum of the freaking earth. They're angry at themselves about it. But the way humans are, the way humans are, we're so complex. We're weird that way. The way humans are wired. Sometimes it's too hard to be angry at yourself. Sometimes it's too hard to be angry at yourself that you treated your sister like the scum of the earth, that you didn't no, Tracy wasn't the oldest. I think Tracy was like in the middle or the I don't know where Tracy landed, honestly. But she wasn't the oldest. I think Tony is the oldest. Was Tracy? No, Tracy was not the oldest. Tracy is, I don't know where she's at, but she's not the oldest. It's too hard to be mad at, it's too hard to be angry at yourself. So these sisters, deep down, they're angry at themselves for treating Tracy like the scapegoat, treating her like the scum of the earth, treating her like an outsider. They're angry at themselves for just a couple of years ago saying that she was dead to them. They're angry at themselves. They're angry at themselves for not spending enough time with her while she was here. They're angry at themselves for what else could they be angry about? For just they're angry at themselves for not loving on her when they had the opportunity to. So they're angry at her. And instead of turning that anger toward yourself, that's most humans, and it's normal. A lot of humans don't do that. Instead of them turning that anger toward themselves, they turn that anger toward her husband. And that's what's happening right now. Her husband is the enemy. They're angry at the husband because who else are they going to be angry at? They can't be angry at Tracy. It's hard to be angry. It's hard to be too angry with Tracy because she's not here right now. You can't be angry at yourself because then you would have to admit that you treated your sister like the scum of the earth. You didn't treat your sister right. You made her a joke. You made fun about her weight. You embarrassed her in front of the whole world. You made her the scapegoat of the family for the whole time y'all were her freaking family. So instead of turning that anger toward themselves, they're turning that anger toward her husband. Let's talk about Tracy's husband. So we have to recognize, out of all the sisters, Tracy is, all these sisters have been married. Tracy is the only one with her original husband. Our marriage is perfect? No. Our husband's perfect? No. Our wife's perfect? No. But guess what? That man was her family. That man was her family. That man loved her. And let me tell you something about marriage, because these sisters are trying to make her husband out to be the bad guy. Let me tell you something about marriage. Let me tell you something about your chosen family. You know, we can't help the families that we're born into. We're just born and we get a family. Sometimes we get sometimes we get a jacked up family. Sometimes we're lucky to get a good family. But Tracy got a jacked up family. And when we're adults, we get to choose our families. So when we become adults, we get to have friendships and we get to have romantic relationships. And that's us choosing our family. That's us creating our families. So Tracy created her family at a young age before any of her other sisters. Tracy got pregnant young, and that was like why she wasn't able to go on tour with them and be a part of the Braxton sisters or whatever, because she got married young. So Tracy, although Tracy had a difficult time in this family, Tracy was blessed and fortunate enough to have her own family. And originally, when I heard about all the drama that's taking place around the different funerals and all that kind of stuff, and when I heard that the sisters didn't show up to the celebration of life service that her husband and her son planned for her, because it's not what she would have wanted, and Tracy told them what she wanted, immediately I thought that's BS. I thought that was BS, because what I know about marriage, your husband and your wife will be your family when your family isn't your family. Your husband or your wife will show up for you when your family doesn't show up for you. And something that I have always believed in, I've always believed, and this is like from my Christian days, and I carry it on now. I always believe that God will give you beauty for your ashes. God, the universe, whoever you believe in, God will give you beauty for your ashes. And what that means is, if you grow up not having a family, if you grew up in foster care, if you grew up being abused and neglected by your family as a child, I wholeheartedly believe that the universe, God, whoever you resonate with, will give that back to you. It's, I don't know, it's just how life works. Um, Shira Seven, I like. She always talks about the pendulum swinging. Like, that pendulum always swings. Like, sometimes things will be sucky, but eventually they get better. So let's talk about her family not showing up to the celebration of life. I'm sorry, but Tamar, Trina, Tawanda, and Mama Evelyn, I have lost all respect for y'all. I have no respect for you guys. The fact that these sisters and the mother didn't show up to her celebration of life because they said it's not what she would have wanted for herself. At the end of the day, her husband and her son planned it. Your sister's fine, but guess what? A sister don't mean diddly squat in our world, in the law, when you have a husband and a child. Whatever your husband and your child wants for you, that's law right there. Like, so you mean to tell me, I can't even get my words out right now? So you mean to tell me an aunt didn't show up to a celebration of life to support her nephew? So you mean to tell me a mother didn't show up to a celebration of life to support her grandson? Skip her husband. what about your nephew and your grandchild? And the reason why I just cried real tears on this camera is because I can't even understand. I can't even fathom. I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words. This can't be life. You mean to tell me an aunt didn't show up for her nephew? You mean to tell me a mother didn't show up? What about your sister? Tracy is somewhere. Tracy is somewhere looking at this. Tracy is somewhere witnessing all of this take place. Do you really think your sister wouldn't have wanted you to support her child? The boy just lost his mother in the first quarter of his life. The boy lost his mother. I'm sorry, not boy. He's not a boy. The young man lost his mother in the first quarter of his life. He was an only child. Y'all, I'm emotionally invested in this. I'm a Braxton family fan. I'm a Tony Braxton stan. I'm a Tamar Braxton stan. I don't care how toxic Tamar Braxton has been over the years. I stand for Tamar Braxton. I never have anything bad to say. I'm literally following their niece, Ashley Braxton. Y'all don't even know who that is. I'm telling you how deeply invested I am into this family. Like, like I really care. Cause like, I don't know. I like these people. But I have lost all respect for this family. I have lost all respect for the remaining Braxton sisters and the mother. The mother is so freaking toxic. I'm gonna have to get off this computer. I'm gonna have to get off this computer because I literally have I have chills right now. Y'all, this family is pathetic. This family is pathetic. And it starts with the mother. They didn't deserve Tracy. And you know what? The funny thing is, I saw a comment on social media and somebody said they just exposed themselves. They wanted to expose Big Kevin. Is his name Big Kevin? I don't know what his name. I think his name is Big Kevin. They wanted to expose Tracy's husband, but they ended up exposing themselves. Like, honey, Tamar, Tony, Trina, Tawanda, Evelyn. Her husband is her husband. Like you're sisters at the end of the day. Talking about Tracy told us what she wanted over a Zoom call. That's how close they were to her sister. They talking about a Zoom call. Come on. Come on. Y'all, I'm really trying to add up 2 plus 2 and the math is not mathing. How do you not support your nephew? Skip Kevin. How do you not support your flesh and blood, your nephew, your 20-something-year-old nephew? How do you not support your grandson who just lost his mother? They're toxic. They want to control everything. And that's why that father left. That's why the father left. The family is toxic. The family is cold. These women are cold. These women are cold. You got to be cold inside. You mean to tell me out of how many? I think that's 5 people. Tony, Tamar, Trina, Tawanda, Evelyn. You mean to tell me out of 5 people, nobody could identify the fact that your husband is a husband is a husband. And when somebody is sick in the hospital, their spouse, their legal spouse, makes the whatever it is. If they don't have a legal spouse, then it's the child. If they don't have a child, then it's the sisters. The family is toxic. They're cold. They're cold-blooded. And to tell you the truth, I don't have any empathy or sympathy for these sisters because they treated their sister so bad. And not only did they treat Tracy bad in life, but they're still treating her bad. And I got my butt on this camera at 12:45 a.m. Even though I have a training tomorrow, I got a practice test to take tomorrow, and I have a baby shower to go to tomorrow. I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. I got on this camera to tell y'all the lesson from all of this. These sisters are the reason why their sister got sick. You know, people just think like, oh, people just get cancer. You think people just have stuff wrong with them. No, sometimes stress and trauma, it impacts the body. I'll never forget years ago. I'm gonna tell y'all, like, I know this stuff. I work with people with chronic pain. And literally I see how stress and trauma impact the body because I work with people with chronic pain. And I've also had my own experiences. Years ago, I kept ending up in the hospital for my heart. I kept having to go to the hospital for my heart, and I found out I have a heart condition, but my heart condition wasn't really the reason that I was having all these problems with my heart. Years ago, I kept having to go to the emergency for my heart. My heart would be, my chest would get tight, and I would have these chest pains. And looking back on it, they could never find what was wrong with me, but I was really feeling stuff in my heart. Guess what? I had a broken heart. I had a broken heart. My heart was broken because I was born to teenagers that treated me like I was a burden my whole life. My heart was broken because my mother chose man after man after man over me. My heart was broken because my mother, literally, the last time I lived with my mother, when she finally allowed me to go stay with my grandparents because she was allowing her ex to abuse me. My mother literally, I'll never forget this. My mother literally looked outside. She saw a stray dog and she said, "You know what? I'm going to get that dog to replace you. I never should have had you. I should have had an abortion like everybody wanted me to." My heart was broken because it's funny. I was just telling my husband today. I'm like, oh, I hate people that make a big deal out of fucking birthdays. I was like, I hate it when it's so annoying. People make such a big deal out of their birthdays. And then I was like, oh yeah, I don't like birthdays because when I was like 9 or 10 years old, I didn't even get a phone call from my mother on my birthday. And then by the time I hit middle school, my father had a daughter on my birthday. So then growing up on my birthday, I kind of had to think about like what my little sister was maybe getting that I didn't get. And it's not funny. This is a coping mechanism. Um, so yeah, my heart was broken because I never had a father. My father, I've lived in the same city or the same state as my father, usually at least about 30, 45 minutes away from my father, and he has never had much to do with me. My heart was broken because at 20 some years old, I wanted a husband. I wanted a man because I wanted my own family. My heart was broken because I couldn't sit with being with myself and being alone. I couldn't sit with that. My heart was broken because I really wanted a family. I was like, so yeah, my heart was broken. And I say all of that just to say sometimes when things are happening in our body, it didn't start from nowhere. It started from something. Never forget before um some of y'all know I got fired from my job about a year ago. I got fired from my job around this time about 2 weeks ago. I got fired from my job. Before I got fired from my job, I had a headache. I had a headache for 2 weeks that would not go away. I thought something was wrong with me. I thought something was wrong with me because I had this headache that wouldn't go away. My job fired me. Do you know that headache? I got relief from that headache instantly. It didn't go away instantly, but literally within 24 hours, I didn't have a headache of getting fired from my job. That's the emotional toll that stress and trauma can have on your brain and on your body. Any pain that you feel in your body, your brain has to send your body signals to say, hey, we're in danger, we're in pain. So, say all that just to say, it's hard for me to have too much empathy for these sisters because I in my heart of hearts, I believe that the reason it's no coincidence that the lady died from a cancer that's connected to her throat. I want to talk about what we can learn from this. If you have toxic family, you have to do what's best for you, but don't let your family ruin your life. Don't allow the family that you were born into, don't allow them to ruin your life. Don't allow them to steal your joy. Don't allow them to steal your purpose. If you have toxic family, let them go because they will hold you back. They will put all their stuff on you. Please. So please, y'all, set boundaries. Set boundaries with people. Tell people how to treat you. Walk away. Take care of yourself. Put yourself first. All right. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for commenting. I'm going to look at your comments right now. And thank y'all for sticking with me through all the emotions. Hi, everything, Charlene. She says this is a mess. It was a mess. But did you see Tony's interview? I couldn't even. I think I saw some of it, but I don't think I could really watch it. AJ says I love Tony Braxton. I'm just reading y'all comments. Was worse that she dies, but Tony's promoting a movie with an occult title. Everything, Charlene, I saw that. I was like, what? Fallen Angels? What? I'm not going to say what I'm thinking, but Tracy Braxton just died, and Tony is about to be in a movie called Fallen Angels. Okay, AJ says, I watched her show a few times and the energy towards Tracy was off. It did seem like she was the black sheep. AJ, Tracy would always say that she was the black sheep, and she would always say that they treated her like a stepsister. AJ says, but why did they treat her bad? So this is what I think. In families, you just have different roles in families. And a good example of this would be that new movie that came out, Encanto. If you watch that movie, you'll see the different family dynamics. Most families have a scapegoat. So in families, sometimes you have the leader that's calling all the shots. You have a scapegoat and the scapegoat is the person that is the outsider or the person that the family blames all their problems on. Everything is wrong with our family because this person can't get it right, or this person does this person does that. So every family, there's roles in families, and sometimes people become the scapegoat. So Lady Divine says, OMG, which Braxton said, you're dead to me? Lady Divine, it never came out which sister said that, but you can find the YouTube video. So if you look at like the last season of the Braxtons, there's a YouTube video that's on here where the title is like Tracy felt disrespected or something like that. But they never told us who said it, but all we saw was Tracy was really upset about it. Maya says, I think Tamar might have said it. Maya, I'm not gonna lie. For some reason, I've always felt like Tamar probably did too. AJ says, I'm sorry, but I don't like Tamar. Yeah, I feel you. At this point, like I don't like any of them anymore. Lady Divine says, I blame the mother. I blame the mother too. Lady Divine says, they all said it was closer. They all said she was closer to the father after the mom's divorce. You know what? I think that has a lot to do with why she was. I feel like that probably had a lot to do with why she was the scapegoat. And then sometimes the scapegoat is the person that is different. Tracy spoke her mind. Tracy did things different. Like Tracy had a family. Let's see. Hey King Akil. Okay, Maya says Evelyn didn't do much to intervene either. Maya, Evelyn, her mother was a part of the problem. I feel like her mother probably resented her for having a relationship with her father. So, as a mother, as a leader in the family, you have a lot of power. At any time, the mother could have shut that down, but she didn't. Lady Divine, why do mothers have to turn on their children if they love their father more? I have no idea. But I'm not gonna lie. When my bunny one time so I don't have children right now, but we do have a bunny. And a couple of weeks ago I literally cried because the bunny kept being mean to me and being nice to my husband. And I literally cried. And maybe that was weird, but I cried. I cried real tears on this couch right here because she kept giving him attention and kept like sniffing his feet and trying to lick him and giving him attention while all she used to do was like flick me off all the time. So I don't know why mothers do that, but I'm just I'm gonna tell you like I guess I'm not like above because I literally sometimes I get jealous when our bunny acts like she likes him more than me because I picked her up and rescued her, and I'm the one that does all the heavy stuff. I'm the one that cleans her, that changes her litter box and stuff like that. AJ says, I thought Tony was neutral too, but I only watched a few episodes. AJ, all the sisters treated her bad. One episode, Tony literally embarrassed Tracy by like calling her fat or something. Lady Divine says, neutral, no, ma'am. Silence is permission. Yes, Lady Divine, I agree with that. Maya says, I agree too. Okay. Okay. Jen N says, I want to say Tony was the oldest. That's what I think. I think Tony was the oldest too. You guys are agreeing. Lady Divine says, narcissists only become angry when they lose their supply. Hi, Callie. Callie says, Tracy is the third child. Okay. So Tracy is the third child, second daughter. Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's Tony, Tawanda. Okay. So maybe it's like Tony, Tawanda, Tracy, Trina, then Tamar. Lady Divine says Tony is the golden child. Yeah, for some reason I think sometimes well never mind, I'm not gonna say that. Okay, so Tracy says, Lady Divine says Tracy was the scapegoat. AJ says, I don't understand the animosity towards Tracy. Lady Divine says, Mom is covert narc. Um, Always pretending she doesn't know anything or acting like she don't know what goes on amongst the sisters. AJ says, wow, they didn't show up. Nope, they sure didn't. Um, but you still should show up. Okay. Okay. Let me see if there's like any other comments I can respond to. Lady Divine says they were evil in the end. I totally agree. Hey, just be Mina. Okay. So, okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I was like reading all the old comments. Just be Mina says, miss you. Where have you been? And how are you? I hope all is well. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a life update in just a moment. AJ says her father and her probably was treated the worst in the family. That might be why he bonded, like, oh, why they bonded. And then Just Be Mina says she didn't go along with everything they said. Also, she was her own person. I totally agree, Just Be Mina. All right. I'm gonna give y'all feel free to, if y'all have any other topics around this, or if you have anything you want me to talk about this situation, let me know. I'll do a life update in just a moment. Lady Divine says Ashley is the brother's daughter. Yep, Ashley is the brother's oldest daughter. So I think the brother had two daughters. One of the daughters passed away, and Ashley is like the oldest daughter. Ashley looks like Tawanda. I follow her on Instagram, and she's very pretty. She looks like Tawanda. Okay, I'm gonna get ready to go soon, but let me know if there's anything else y'all want to talk about. Y'all, thank you so much for giving me 8 likes. Thank you for the 8 people who are watching. Thank you to everyone who has watched this. If you have not, if you came in late, I suggest you watch the whole thing because it was, woo, we got into some things. I was ready. I wrote notes and everything. So I'm gonna do a quick life update for all of you and just tell you just like why I've been going so. Yeah, I have been going through it. First of all, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all about me. So I struggle with depression. Um, yeah, I struggle with depression. When I started this channel, I was just coming out of like a really deep, dark depression that was really hard for me. And this year, not this year, but so I'm just gonna tell y'all I've been through a lot in the past 12 months. A lot has happened to me in the last 12 months. So number one, I got fired from my previous job. I started a new job. I started a new dream job. And that's what happens when you're always manifesting. Sometimes you might lose things and you think it's for the worst and it's really for the best. So I started a new job as a therapist, and like I've just been really busy with that. Then I turned 30, and literally basically on my 30th birthday, my childhood best friend died, and it has been I have been through it. So, like, I've always pretty much like struggled with depression, but ever since my childhood best friend died around my birthday, it's just been really hard. So I've just been dealing with that. I've been coping with it. I've been grieving. Um yeah, and the thing that makes it like even more complex is we we basically so we have been friends since we were like 11 years old, 10, 11 years old. We have been friends forever. And then I went off to college in another state, and we still were friends. We still were best friends. I still talk to her weekly. I was her daughter's godmother. Like, we were still close. I came back home from grad school, and during grad school, I a lot of things that I repressed came up, and that's when I like went through a really deep dark depression. And basically, as y'all can see here, as I show up in this space, I've always kind of been that friend that my friends can come to. I've always kind of been that friend that my friends will call at 3, 4, 5 in the morning, 2, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the morning. I've always been that friend that people can call, and I'm always giving. And some years ago, for the first time, I didn't have it to give. I no longer had it to give. And she didn't understand that. And long story short, we ended up not being friends. We ended up falling out because she was mad at me for like not being there for her. And I'm like, girl, it's not that I don't want to be there for you, it's that I'm going through stuff myself, and I'm in grad school and I'm having a hard time. But anyway, so fast forward to like 5 years, over the summer, literally on my birthday, me and my husband, we went to Florida, and when we came back, literally the day that I came back, uh, my friend like told me that, like, she was like, "Have you heard about such and such? Like, I think something is wrong." And yeah, basically, yeah. But one thing I am grateful for, I'm so grateful I got to see her before she transitioned. It was so crazy. So literally when I came back and I heard about it, I was like trying to get in anyway, long story short, literally I got in contact with her family, and I went to see her the next day, and literally about 2 hours after I left the hospital, like, she transitioned fully. So I'm just so happy that I got to see her one last time. But that's kind of why I have been MIA, because I've just kind of been going through it with that. So, and that's probably that's probably why, like, this is even more like seeing this stuff. That's probably why this is even more something for me, because like I've already been like kind of grieving and having a hard time. Thank you everyone for all your love. But since we're on the topic, I want to say also, like, that's another thing that has like made everything in my life like so bittersweet. So just um another thing that has made life so bittersweet. When I was in high school, I kind of told y'all that I went through stuff with my mother and her ex, like with them just not being good. Like I went through stuff with abuse, and like me being a therapist right now is so bittersweet because when I was in high school, I said I wanted to be a therapist because basically I went through my situation um with experiencing physical abuse at home, and then literally my best friend, I went through my situation, and literally my best friend, she went through the same situation but like 10 times worse. And literally my best friend, her stepfather physically abused her to the point that she was in the hospital. And I hope nobody that knows us sees this video. But basically, my best friend was in the hospital. We were in high school. My best friend was in the hospital with black eyes, and she was just going through it. And we both kind of like, I don't know, we both kind of had just stuff with mothers. And I remember in those moments, like we were close, and I remember like I was one of the friends that was able to be there for her. And in that moment, I realized, I was like, wow, I went through what I went through so I could be there for my friend. And it was pretty much at that time that I was like, I want to be a I want at the time I was like, I want to be a child psychologist. So I made up a long time ago that I wanted to be a therapist. And this year has been this year has been so hard. This year has been so hard because I've been through like so much with life and my mental health. And for the first time, like when it comes to my career, I'm exactly where I want to be in my career. And part of my story was my friend and the fact that she's not here anymore. And the fact that we never got to like make up fully, it hurt so bad. And then the fact that like depression can literally rob you of things. Depression can really rob you of things. And that's something that I've like been happen to just live with. The fact that like depression kind of robbed me of a best friend that I'll never get back. I'm so sorry, y'all. So that's kind of why I've been so MIA. But at the same time, I know that like I know things just happen, and sometimes things happen for a reason. And my friend was in pain on this earth. Like, my friend was in pain on this earth. So, although I'm sad that she's not here, I'm very grateful that she's not in pain anymore. Because this life was painful for her. So, so, y'all, that's another reason why, like, sometimes when I talk about, like, kids and stuff like that, yeah, it's my pet peeve when people have kids that they cannot mentally, emotionally, and financially take care of, because people don't realize that, like, when you just have kids all willy-nilly and you don't have the emotional bandwidth for these kids, or you don't have the resources, or like when relationship with men is like more important than your children, or you bring in children into this world with broken homes, like sometimes, like, that's why I'm such an advocate for that kind of stuff, because I know the damage it does. um thank y'all for your love. I'm so sorry if I've like I'm so I'm so sorry if I have like kind of traumatized y'all in any way. Like, I'm so sorry. I want to look at your comments and then I'm gonna get ready to go. Just be Mina. I'm gonna have to check out that book, Purpose Divine Life. Y'all, thank you so much for your love. I really appreciate all of you. Hi, Antoinette. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get ready to go. It's funny. I wanted to record this video on a new channel, but I'm happy I ended up coming here because I appreciate that I can always be myself, and I appreciate that like y'all allow me to ramble. So I really appreciate y'all for that. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get ready to go. Let me know if you have like any other questions or any other comments about the topic before I go. And y'all, I want to just say I am okay. I know I cried a lot, but I want y'all to know that I am okay. Don't worry about me. Like, I'm really okay. Like, I'm doing okay. Um it's just a journey and it's a process. And I've been feeling all the feels because my friend's birthday is like in 8 days. And I'm just kind of like, so if I'm crying tears, it's just because I'm feeling all the the feels, because grief is something else. But I'm also, in a way, I'm kind of grateful for this experience because it's helping me to help other people. So, because I know what grief looks like and what it feels like, and because I know what you need to hear when you're grieving, I feel like now I'm better able to help people in their grief. All right. All right. Thank you all. So good night. Thank you, Lady Divine, for joining. us for joining me. Thank you, Just Be Mina. Thank you, Antoinette. Um, Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Lady Divine. Thank you, Callie N. Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Akil. Thank you, everything, Charlene. And you all go check out. I don't know if anyone else has a channel, but check out Just Charlene. Just Charlene has a channel, and she's also why am I drawing blanks right now? It's like Miss Coconut. She's also Miss Coconut on YouTube. So go check her out. And if anyone else has a channel, let me know and I'll always shout you out. All right. Thank y'all so much. I love you. I will see you on the next vlog. I'm Lady Daydream. Thank you for joining me on this channel. I share my Yep, I love Miss Coconut too. So thank you for just like sharing this space with me. You all know I have the answers and you have the answers also. So let me know your thoughts and comments in the comments below. This live, I feel like this live was all about like grief and healing. And I also want to just this live was all about Tracy Braxton. This live was all about honoring Tracy, for recognizing Tracy, for seeing Tracy. And I just want to say, Tracy, thank you for everything that you have given us. Tracy, thank you for being a love and a light to this world and so many communities. Tracy, thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for always being yourself, Tracy. I hate that you were the black sheep, Tracy, but thank you for being able to stand in everything that you had to stand in, especially because a lot of people resonate with that. And a lot of people are gaslit, and so many people can resonate with Tracy and identify with Tracy. So I just want to say thank you to Tracy. Y'all, please don't forget about Tracy Braxton. Y'all stream her music on all platforms. Follow her family, follow Olivia, follow Kevin Jr., follow her husband. Y'all unsubscribe from the Braxtons, unsubscribe from Tamar, unsubscribe from Tony, unsubscribe from Evelyn. Y'all unsubscribe. Y'all take your attention back from the rest of the Braxton sisters and Evelyn, because they are toxic. I never thought I never thought in a million years I would be on somebody's platform, on somebody's internet, speaking against these people. Hey, Locked Honey Princess. Y'all follow Locked Honey Princess too. Y'all unsubscribe from the Braxton sisters. They are toxic. They wouldn't even let their sister rest and have peace in her death. They wouldn't even let Tracy be. They wouldn't even allow Tracy to have her moment in death. Take your attention back from these sisters and show your love and your support to Tracy, to her family meaning her son and her husband and her daughter-in-law. Let's not forget Tracy. And the biggest message that I hope I shared. The biggest message I just wanted to share with this live is that it is so important that you recognize when you're in toxic places with toxic people, and it is so important for you to always set boundaries and take care of yourself, whatever that looks like for you. And also, what I really wanted to drive home is the fact that being in these situations, putting yourself in these toxic environments with toxic people, it impacts you. It impacts your brain, it impacts your body, and you'll think like that you're around family members that just don't make you feel good, but literally these people will make you sick. And that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing I just want to share, because in my heart of hearts, I believe that Tracy left before her time. Yeah, everything happens for a reason. People go when they're supposed to, but I really feel like this could have been prevented, and I really feel like, whew, I'm not gonna ramble because we already did that, but I really feel like these people tried to steal so many things from Tracy. They tried to steal her joy, her peace, her purpose, and they even tried to do it now. But I'm so proud of all of you for seeing through the BS. And I'm so proud that in Tracy's death, she has a voice because we are speaking up for her. We are speaking up for Tracy. And she may have died from esophagus cancer. They may have taken her voice while she was here. They may have impacted her voice while they were here, making her the scapegoat of the family. But we are her voice right now in this moment. And I just want to thank y'all for I want to thank y'all for showing up and showing out, because I've seen so many videos of you guys sharing your feelings and your thoughts about this topic. And y'all have really been showing up for Tracy, and I'm all the way here for it. And tonight I just wanted to sprinkle my 2 cents into it. Um, and again, I'm not on this channel. I share my personal opinions, and I also share my opinions as a therapist, as somebody that works with people every day around grief and loss and chronic pain and trauma and overwhelming stress. So I hope that you got something from this. And also, I share so much in my business, and I apologize if like I have like triggered anybody in any type of way in this live. But I also want to thank you guys for just sharing this space with me and sending me all your love. And um y'all, life is everything is gonna be okay. Life is good. Make sure you follow me on all of my platforms. Follow me on Lavish Love. Follow my Bunny's channel, Beyonce's Lavish Life. Follow my ASMR channel. Also, look out for me on other platforms. I actually started another platform, but I can't share it. I can't share it, so just make sure you just look out for me. I can't share it because, yeah. On this channel, I share my name, Lady Daydream, and on my other channel, it's gonna be more like personal. So you guys will just have to look out for me. So, all right, I will see you soon. Take care, everyone. And on IG, I'm ASMR Lady Daydream. And if you follow me on IG, I will follow you back. Oh, and Beyonce has a Beyonce has a IG and a TikTok. So you can follow her at Beyonce's Lavish Life on all platforms. All right, bye everyone, and thank you for your likes. And thanks for watching and all of your comments.